and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Shots Fired Podcast DFW. As usual, and as always, you got your boy Big Joe.
You got your boy Julio the Don.
You got your boy J-Head.
We got some good stuff to get into, and the biggest thing we got is we know who's in the Super Bowl now. After two close games this past weekend, we're going to get into the recap of those games, and we're giving our Super Bowl picks. So, with that said, first up, we got Cincy versus Kansas City. Julio, what'd you think about that game, dog?
Oh, man. Great game. Let me just say that first and foremost. That was an awesome game to watch. Again, came down to the wire. Joe proving yet again, Joe Cool does all the good stuff in the end and kept us cool, and they were able to pull the win off of Kansas City, which I want to say that every one of us picked the Bengals. I might be wrong on that. We might have to rewatch the tape on that, but I know I picked the Bengals for sure to win that game.
You're the only one that picked the Bengals.
Oh, well, then never mind. I guess I was wrong. But I'm just glad to see that somebody other than Mahomes actually won the AFC Championship and was able to, pull out that win, man. It was just a great game altogether. Defenses played great. The offense played great. And to see it come down to the wire again, and this time it went into overtime. And even though Mahomes won the overtime, this time he just couldn't close out the game. So it was a great, great game to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, man. Just watching the game, I got the highlights up here on my other screen, but watching the game, and you see how poised Joe Burrow is. You see Jamar Chase starting to slowly take over the game. The other thing you see is the Kansas City Chiefs after halftime just fizzling out. All of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes can't do anything. He's not on the same page. He's uncharacteristically not able to make those plays. Had a guy on my Facebook timeline say Patrick Mahomes is captain doing the most, and he's a guy that believes he can make every big play. He's a guy that believes that every play is going to be a touchdown. And that hurt his team. Instead of just throwing the ball away and living to play another down, he was scrambling and he was running backwards, taking sacks. Just not smart football from a guy that has won a Super Bowl, is considered one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. And when you see his counterpart, Joe Burrow, on the field, you see that guy staying smooth, staying calm in the pocket, taking a sack, but he's trying to make the plays. And he's actually converting on those plays. He's making those plays. Joe Burrow was the picture of clutch in that playoff game. Mm-hmm. Then it kind of you had those Buffalo Bills vibes where they make it to overtime, like you said. KC wins the toss and everyone's like, shit, Bengals done lost. But if you watch Patrick Mahomes, if you were really paying attention, why would you have been scared? They weren't doing anything after half. So the Bengals doing what they've been doing, going on the road, upsetting teams. Now they're in the Super Bowl. You got Evan McPherson making the kick in overtime.
Yeah, I think for me, the most impressive thing was that, considering what seed Cincy came in at, and then to see them go on the road consecutively and win. Not only that, but again, kind of to what you said, we saw the Cincy game last week, and Patrick Mahomes basically maintained his cool, showed that next level. We even talked about it last week, how he showed that next level of quarterback, the way that you should think, the way that you maintain your cool to persevere over, you know, ungodly odds. Because again, if we talk back about that Kansas City Buffalo game, there was 16 seconds left on the clock, and Patrick Mahomes brought them back, tied the game, and then won the game in overtime. So
Right.
whenever they flipped the coin for overtime in the Cincinnati game, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, man, we got this one."
Right.
Patrick's, already proven that before. He's
Been here,
winning in
done that.
overtime.
Right.
Been here, done that. Yeah. And so to see Cincinnati's defense step up the way they did, and again, I'm not just going to put it all on Patrick Mahomes, because I know that a lot of people are going to say, hey, Patrick Mahomes made these mistakes. And yes, in a high stakes game, you want to be that guy that's the guy that made the play, the guy that I drove my team back down the field. I did this, I was able to overcome these things. And I
Right.
just think at the end of the day, like Joe said, you were trying to do too much and put too much on your shoulders to try to make it happen and try to force it to happen, that it didn't come true. And now you have Burrow and them boys in the big game because of that.
Right.
So kudos to that defense and kudos to Joe Burrow, because again,
Going
Cool,
into Arrowhead
for real,
and winning that game.
It was
but
a great game to watch.
Give credit as well to Cincinnati's defense. They held the Chiefs to 3 points after half.
Oh yeah.
You don't expect that from a Kansas City team. A Kansas City team, once they get going, you expect points on points on points. And Cincinnati was like, no, hell no. We're about to really make this comeback. They believe in their quarterback, their young quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, give me the rock. We'll handle business. We'll take care of it.
Good old Kevin McAllister out there on the field.
Oh,
Killing
Kevin,
people.
huh? The other little subplot storyline that was out there was all the fans that were thankful that they didn't have to see Patrick Mahomes' baby mama and his brother. They're getting shit all over in social media because they're
As
a
they should.
distraction. They're a distraction to Patrick Mahomes in the middle of a playoff run. You got basically your wifey getting destroyed on social media, and your brother acting like a total ass clown, and
Yep.
you're trying to keep your brand reputable. And I was talking to somebody and I said, they're almost making Patrick Mahomes a heel, a bad guy, as we call it in the business. They're making him a bad guy because they're bringing that negativity. Like, I always saw Patrick Mahomes as he's one of the better ones. He's the face of the league. That's a guy you want to put your franchise in. And now you're looking at his circle around him, and I'm just like, that's a bad look, dog. Like, you need to get that in check, because that's your brand and your rep that they're out there tarnishing, living it like they're the ones out there making those plays, and it's not. It's him.
One of the better ones. I hope you meant like better quarterback, not
One of the better players, period. Not just quarterback. He's one of the better.
I'm saying the other.
Individuals.
I know how your brain works, so could be a little bit racial.
Whoa, sir, I'm of color, fella.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that is wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, J Hat has come out as a confirmed racist.
No.
So, what do you think about Patrick Mahomes? Family just kind of getting into that limelight, Jay.
They need to take a back seat, I think. I mean, I tried to on another podcast, I tried to kind of give Jackson the benefit of the doubt, but I can't. When you do crazy stuff week after week after week, like, I can't help you, fam. Like, let's just be real here.
Be real.
I was more the athlete in my family. So if my brother, let's say I made it big doing something track and field, whatever, and thankfully in our day and age we didn't have any social media. But if he was like acting out and always in the media and all that, me and him would have a talk, face to face, man to man. Yo, you need look. You're my brother. I still love you. You need to chill the fuck out. I'm trying to go out here and win, and I can't keep my head in the game because I'm worried about what the next headline's going to be about my wife and my brother. Like, and I mean, the second one is he needs to talk to his wife.
Definitely, that needs to be addressed.
I saw a picture the other day of, I guess they were in high school, and she was like, it looks like he's never, and I'm not in their business, so I don't know, but it looks like he is never happy around her. Never.
They could have been the poster for the movie Get Out.
Pretty much. I mean, she's all squeezing his face, and he's just like stoic. I'm like, bro, that early on, that tells you like I'm with you just because like you're forcing me to be with you. That's what it looked like. I don't know if that's the case, but now they got a baby.
Right. I believe that he'll address the situation in the off season. I think he's mature enough. He's smart enough he's self-aware enough to understand, hey, there's some things that need to be addressed behind closed doors this off season so that we're not having these distractions and this tarnishing of my brand moving forward.
But will it help?
It better if you're living off Patrick Mahomes' fame, notoriety, then wouldn't you want that to be positive? Wouldn't you want that basically that meal ticket to continue to produce and not have people disliking your family member because you don't know how to act? Stop being selfish. Let that man do his job and be the superstar he is and get your life right. Jackson Mahomes, you're not Patrick Mahomes, fam. You're not. You do TikTok dances. Yeah, you got followers, not because of who you are, but because of who your brother is.
His TikTok is more popping than ours.
Let's be honest. Do I got a famous brother named Patrick Mahomes? I do not. But I'm sure if I did, I'd have 1 million people watching this podcast right now.
Yep.
I don't know about 1 million, but
it's bro. He's got millions of people watching his dumb ass do TikTok dances.
And he has a point there. And Patrick, if you're watching the podcast, if you happen to watch the podcast, blink 3 times if you need help, man, because we will help.
I will help. If you want to come on the podcast and talk about it, we can do that too.
We can do that.
Hey, he can be our Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you ain't doing nothing. You're home.
You can show your feet. It's all good, man. We don't care. Whatever I want to do on the show.
As long as you ain't showing your dingus, we're all right, fam.
Bro, it'd be a good therapy session for you. You can get everything out you want to get out, bro.
This is a judgment-free zone. I promise you that.
No, but I agree with you guys as far as that goes. Again, to chime off of what Joe said, if you want to continue what you want to call, and I know I don't want to speak on his family's behalf, but I don't want to call him their meal ticket, but I'm calling it like it is. It is their meal ticket. So why not let the man do his job? Let him do what he does. Let him be Patrick Mahomes and keep your mouth shut. It's as simple as that. Let him keep making State Farm videos, or commercials, whatever you want to call them. Let him do that.
Y'all want to keep getting that Patrick price?
For real.
Hush your mouth. It ain't hard. So Patrick Mahomes took a couple of L's last weekend.
Mhm.
He's at home now. He'll be watching the Cincinnati Bengals do what they do. Let me ask you guys this. Was the Bengals winning more of an upset, or was the Kansas City Chiefs losing a disappointment?
I mean, they lost what, like on the last drive? It went into
They
overtime,
lost
right?
in
In
overtime.
overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost in overtime.
That
I
was
mean,
after they had the ball first. So if they would have scored a touchdown, it was game over.
what do you have to be disappointed about? I
You
mean,
lost to a 4 seed at home.
it is what it is. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase.
I agree.
Plain and simple.
So you think it was well, which one do you think it is? Do you think it was the Bengals pulling off the upset? Was
I
it an
don't.
upset, or do you just think Kansas City Chiefs crapped out and it
It
was a
it,
disappointment?
it wasn't an upset. It wasn't a disappointment. You played as hard as you could, and it is what it is. You lost. You everybody. It it's like this whole season. Any given Sunday, any given Saturday, in this case, or no, it was on a Sunday.
It was Sunday.
But any given Sunday, like you can lose a game, no matter who you are. Tom showed us that. The GOAT himself.
Matt Stafford retired Tom Brady, but we'll get into that. Julio,
Hush your mouth.
before we move on to that, what do you think? Was it a
For,
more of a KC disappointment or
for,
a Cincinnati Bengals upset?
yeah, for me, I'm gonna have to say that I agree with Jay. I don't think that there was an upset, and I don't think there was a disappointment. I honestly think that, both teams came out and played their strongest. That's the whole reason they went into overtime. That's the whole reason, the game went the way it went. Everybody's fighting as hard as they possibly can. You saw Patrick trying to rally his team back. And again, we talked about it before, to where some of us feel like he might have taken on too much and tried to do too much and lost the game. Other people might say that, he did enough. He got us into overtime.
Right.
Of course, when they won the overtime toss, or the coin toss for overtime, everybody was already, oh, that's a win. That's a dub. He's already shown it before, been there, done that. We're winning this game. And
Right.
then to see Cincinnati's defense step up the way they did, and then not only that, but also perform the way they did and win the game, I think, to me, speaks volumes on how, again, what Jay said, any given Sunday, you can either win or you could lose. And the Bengals proved that they just wanted it more than the Chiefs did. It was as
Yeah.
simple as that. So I don't
Yep.
really see it as a disappointment, and I don't really see it as the underdog winning or anything like that. I just see it as a well-played game where both teams fought to the very, very end. Of course, you realize that because they went into overtime and one was crowned a victor. One just wanted it more than the other. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
For me, I think it's a Kansas City disappointment. Not because the Bengals aren't a good team. They're obviously a good team. They're road warriors. They're out there making it shake. The thing that I say is you're Kansas City. Again, you score 3 points after the half. You get the ball first in overtime. You lose at home. You give up the big lead and you lose at home. To me, that's Kansas City shit in the bed. So for me, it's Kansas City. It's a disappointment. They didn't show up after halftime. I don't know what happened at half, but they came out flat.
And you got to remember, they were leading 21-10 going into the half. So Kansas City was up 21-10 going into the half. So for them to come back from that deficit, again, Joe said this earlier, once Kansas City kind of has a leg up on you, it's hard to stop them from scoring and, keeping that momentum going. But again, to kind of jump on that Kansas City bandwagon, that defense kept them in the game. They stopped Mahomes enough. They figured it out. They were like, we know what to do now. They adjusted their defense, and were ready to come out to play the second half, and were
Right.
able to keep them in the game long enough for their team to catch up. So it was, I believe one of the better games from this past weekend. I like that game more than I like the 49er and Rams game, but we'll get into that here in a minute. But I mean,
I like how you
it
said it
is
was
what
one
it
of the better games, but it was only one of two games.
for real.
It was either the better game or not the better game.
It was, in my opinion, the better game out of the two.
Okay.